After 4 years of divorce, I discovered there was a boy who looked very similar to me. 4 years had passed since my divorce, and my life had taken on a new rhythm. My wife, Callista, and I had separated amicably, realizing that our paths had diverged significantly over the years. I had poured myself into my career, and she had focused on her personal growth. Without any children at the time, our separation had been clean and without the complications of custody battles. At least, that's what I had thought. One Saturday afternoon, I decided to visit the local park to clear my mind. Work had been particularly stressful, and I needed a break. As I strolled through the park, I observed families enjoying their day, children playing, and the general bustle of weekend leisure. My attention was suddenly captured by a little boy. He had dark hair and hazel eyes, features strikingly similar to my own. His laugh was eerily reminiscent of mine as a child. I stood there, frozen, unable to take my eyes off him. There was an undeniable resemblance, and a sense of familiarity washed over me. Curiosity got the better of me, and I found myself following the boy at a safe distance. It wasn't long before I saw her. Callista was sitting on a nearby bench, watching the boy with the world seemed to tilt as I processed her words. I had a son I never knew about. A mix of joy, anger, and confusion overwhelmed me. I demanded to know why she hadn't told me. Her response was filled with remorse. She admitted that she didn't know how to tell me after our divorce, fearing it would complicate things. She thought it would be easier for both of us this way, without realizing the profound impact of her decision. I struggled to contain my emotions. Callista had kept my son from me for almost 4 years. I deserved to be part of his life. She acknowledged her mistake and assured me that she wouldn't stop me from being involved with Ethan now. I looked at Ethan, who was watching us with curious eyes, and felt an overwhelming sense of love and responsibility for this little boy. Over the next few weeks, I made every effort to spend time with Ethan. Callista and I worked out a schedule that allowed me to see him regularly. We visited the zoo, played at the park, and I even introduced him to my parents, who were overjoyed to meet their grandson. Ethan was a bright and cheerful child, and I quickly grew to love him deeply. However, as much as I cherished my time with Ethan, I couldn't shake the feeling that something was missing. I wanted to give him a complete family, to provide him with the stability and love that Callista and I once had. One evening, after putting Ethan to bed, I sat down with Callista to discuss the possibility of reconciling. I expressed my desire to make our family whole again, emphasizing how much I still cared about her and how much Ethan would benefit from having both parents together. Callista looked at me with a mixture of surprise and sadness. She appreciated my feelings but explained that we had both changed significantly since our divorce. We had built separate lives, and she wasn't sure that getting back together was the right solution. She believed that we needed to be honest about our feelings and not force something that wasn't there anymore. Her words stung, but I knew she was right. We had both grown in different directions, and forcing a relationship for the sake of Ethan might do more harm than good. We continued to co-parent, putting Ethan's needs above our own, but the longing for a complete family never left me. Every time I saw Callista, my heart ached with the desire to reconcile. Days turned into weeks, and I continued to be an active presence in Ethan's life. But the unresolved feelings between Callista and me were like a persistent ache. I couldn't understand why she was so determined to keep us apart. One evening, after another failed attempt to convince her to reconcile, I decided to seek advice from friends and family. Most of my friends sympathized with me but sided with Callista. They told me that trying to force a relationship wouldn't end well, and that I needed to respect her feelings. My parents, however, were more supportive of my desire to reconcile. They believed that love and determination could overcome our differences and that I should keep trying. Months passed, and the longing to reunite with Callista grew stronger. I decided to write her a heartfelt letter, pouring out my feelings and hopes for our future together. In the letter, I expressed how much I still cared for her and how important it was for Ethan to have both parents together. I sent the letter, hoping it would reach her heart. Days turned into weeks with no response. I began to accept that perhaps Callista had moved on and was content with our new arrangement. It was a bitter pill to swallow, but I focused on being the best father I could be for Ethan. Then, one day, Callista showed up at my door, her eyes red from crying. She handed me the letter, her hands shaking. Callista had read my letter and realized that she still cared about me but wasn't ready to reconcile. She needed time to heal and find herself again. Her words were a mix of hope and heartbreak. She asked for time, and I agreed, willing to wait for as long as it took. As time passed, Callista and I continued to co-parent, developing a new kind of relationship, one built on mutual respect and a shared love for our son. While we never rekindled our romantic relationship, we became close friends, supporting each other through life's challenges. In the end, I realized that love comes in many forms, and sometimes the greatest act of love is letting go. Reflecting on everything that had happened, I couldn't help but feel a sense of closure. I had found a way to be present in Ethan's life, and while my relationship with Callista wasn't what I had hoped for, it was still meaningful. Yet, the question remained, should I continue to hold on to the hope of rekindling our romance, or should I accept the way things were and focus on building a new kind of family for Ethan? This is where I seek your advice. How should I navigate this complex and emotional journey? Your thoughts and guidance would mean the world to me as I try to make the best decision for myself and my son.